In the late 90s, at the mere age of 19, Jamila T. Davis took the streets of New York City by storm. Utilizing her street smarts and business skills, Davis built a financial service empire from scratch, becoming a lead go-to person for well-known hustlers, hip-hop music celebrities, and star athletes. Determined to turn her notoriety into more cash flow, Jamila ventured off into real estate and hit the jackpot. By the age of 25, this savvy young entrepreneur became a multimillionaire who owned several high-end estates, a fleet of luxury vehicles, including a Maybach, and enough designer clothing, diamond jewelry, and fur coats to fill a showroom. Jamila was living high on the land until she decided to do business with a deceptive mortgage broker. Little did Jamila know at the time, this one poor choice would ruin her life. After following the instructions of the banker, who colluded with other insiders, when the fraudulent deals came under scrutiny, Davis was left to hold the bag. Making national headlines, Jamila T. Davis became the alleged 25-year-old mastermind who defrauded Lehman Brothers Bank. Just 59 days after Jamila was sentenced to 12.5 years in federal prison for bank fraud, Lehman Brothers Bank collapsed, and the truth was finally exposed. Although not one Lehman executive was held accountable for their wrongdoings, which ultimately spiraled the 2008 financial crisis, 7 years later, Jamila T. Davis remains behind bars.
Michelle Miles grew up in the Marcy housing projects in Brooklyn, New York, back in the 1980s. Staring out of her project window as a child, she'd often witnessed drug dealing, prostitution, violent gangs, even murder. Watching her single mother struggle to make ends meet, Michelle was desperate to find a way to escape. Then suddenly, the opportunity presented itself. Lured in by her childhood boyfriend, Stanley Burrell, Michelle tried her hand in the drug game and saw an immediate return. Her knack for business and her drive for success quickly led her to a managerial position in the notorious BURRELL organization. Overnight, money began to flood in. From rags to riches, Michelle Miles was finally living the life of her dreams. All was well, until the feds got wind of their lucrative drug operation. With the help of a few informants, the BURRELL empire swiftly crumbled, knocking Miles off her feet for 3 decades to come.
Gwendolyn Hemphill was the prize of her hometown, Johnstown, Pennsylvania. Rising from humble beginnings, Hemphill worked relentlessly to overcome barriers of racism and poverty. Known for her savvy wit and creative political strategies, she successfully advocated for unions and political groups, including the legendary SNCC during the era of the Civil Rights Movement. Climbing to the top of the political ladder as a rising star, Hemphill made her way to the White House, landing a promising career under the Carter administration. All was well until Hemphill took a job at the Washington Teachers Union after retirement. One bad decision ended her stellar career and left Hemphill with a hefty price to pay. Although the real-life stories of Jamila T. Davis, Michelle Miles, and Gwendolyn Hemphill started out different, their fate became the same. Each of these women were sentenced to decade-plus terms behind bars for nonviolent crime. Jamila T. Davis has served 7 years. Michelle Miles has served 19. And Gwendolyn Hemphill has served 8.5 years behind bars. They represent the true faces of women serving lengthy sentences in federal prison, sponsored by taxpayer dollars. Check out the new book series that has readers around the world stunned, mesmerized, and enlightened. Read and discover what really goes on in the U.S. judicial system, and witness for yourself the high price these women had to pay. Now available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, iBooks, and wherever books are sold. Get your copy today.